Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. If you're a focused learner looking to immediately elevate your writing, you are in exactly the right place. Today we're talking about a fundamental truth of writing that, honestly, so many people completely miss. And it's this: an essay's success or failure happens entirely at the paragraph level. Seriously, you can spend hours and hours agonizing over the absolute perfect introduction, but the real battleground where you actually win over your reader? It's in the paragraphs themselves.
We've all been there, right? Have you ever poured your absolute heart into a paper, written what you thought was a brilliant, bulletproof thesis, and then still gotten a disappointing grade? It is a uniquely devastating feeling, especially if you powered through it on 3 cups of coffee at 2 in the morning. But why does that actually happen? Why do genuinely great essays fail? Well, the reality is that even the most groundbreaking thesis completely falls apart if the supporting paragraphs are weak. It's like building a house. If the foundation is wobbly, the whole thing comes crashing down. And the number one reason those paragraphs end up weak, it's because we naturally, almost accidentally, slip into summarizing the text instead of analyzing it.
Okay, let's dive into this, because this right here is the massive paradigm shift that graders are constantly looking for. You have got to move away from summarizing the plot, just repeating what the text literally says, and shift to actually interpreting its meaning. That shift from the what to the why is the absolute core of analysis. It is exactly what evaluators are grading for. Think about it. If you only tell them what happened, you aren't really making an argument. You're basically just writing a book report.
So, how do we systematically force ourselves to analyze rather than summarize? We use the SIEL acronym: State, Illustrate, Explain, and Link. Think of this as your ultimate foolproof toolkit. It's a formula that will automatically make your writing clearer and so much stronger. Let's break down exactly how each piece works. We start with the S, state. This is your topic sentence. Right out of the gate, you must clearly state exactly what is being proven in this specific paragraph. This is your claim, your main idea, your argument for this exact block of text. And notice what's intentionally missing here? There is absolutely no summary and no storytelling allowed in this step. 0. You are simply answering one question: what am I proving right now?
Let's look at a concrete example of a great state statement. The poem presents writing as a form of emotional release that allows the speaker to process internal conflict. Notice how strong that is? It's perfectly clear, it's highly arguable, and it connects directly to a larger idea. It isn't just saying, the speaker writes a poem. That's summary. Instead, it's telling us why the speaker writes. It perfectly lays the foundation for our paragraph's argument.
Okay, so once you've stated your claim, you move to the I, illustrate. You can't just make a bold claim and expect your reader to blindly believe you, right? You got to bring the receipts. This is where you must prove your claim by bringing in specific evidence directly from the text. You want to show the reader exactly where your proof is located. You can do this by using specific paraphrases, direct quotes, or even block quotes from your source material.
Let's apply this to our ongoing example. Here is our illustration. The speaker describes writing as something sharp that can cut deep, comparing words to daggers and swords. And this brilliantly illustrates how making the evidence tangible and specific directly supports our initial claim. We aren't just vaguely throwing it out there that the text has some angry words. We are pulling the exact specific language, sharp, cut deep, daggers, to vividly back up our argument about emotional release.
But hold on a second, because right here is where we hit a massive speed bump. I really want to give you a firm warning on this one. This step is where students struggle the most. In fact, this is the absolute danger zone, where grades literally go to die. The biggest mistake you can make is stopping right after you drop the quote, or worse, shifting back into summary mode. Listen, a quote by itself does not prove anything. It's just a piece of data. If you drop a quote like a microphone and just immediately move on to the next point, you have left the most crucial part of your job completely undone.
And that brings us to the E, explain. This absolutely needs to be the longest part of your paragraph. Why? Because honestly, this is exactly where the grade lives. This is where you analyze the evidence you just presented and explain how and why it matters. It's the space where you finally get to show off your own thinking and your deep understanding of the material. Remember, you aren't letting the quote speak for itself. You have to speak for it. To truly nail this section, you have to actively coach yourself to push your analysis further. When you look at your quote, really interrogate it. Ask yourself, why did the author choose this specific word instead of another one? Why this particular image? What does this actually reveal about the deeper meaning? Let me tell you, if your explanation is only one sentence long, I can guarantee you haven't dug deep enough. You need to pull the evidence apart and show the reader its inner workings.
Let's see what a really strong explanation looks like in practice. These violent images show the intensity of the speaker's emotions and suggest that writing allows him to release pain in a controlled way. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it successfully interprets the meaning rather than just repeating the quote back to us. We aren't just saying the speaker uses the word dagger to talk about writing. Nope, we are interpreting those violent images as a representation of intensity and a mechanism for a controlled release. Now that is pure analysis.
Finally, we reach the L, link. This is the step where the writer zooms back out. You've just spent all this time getting into the weeds with your detailed explanation, and now you have to remind the reader exactly how this specific paragraph supports the essay's overarching idea. You connect right back to your main thesis, reinforcing your argument so the reader never, ever loses the thread of why this paragraph exists in the first place.
Here is our final linking sentence for the example we've been building. This use of writing as emotional release reinforces the idea that language functions as a tool for survival and identity. See what we did there? This final sentence essentially puts the roof on the structural house we've been building. It firmly anchors all of that highly specific analysis about daggers and internal conflict directly back to the massive overarching themes of the essay, survival, and identity.
Okay, let's move to the big reveal and see how this all builds into the final product. When we combine everything, we get this. The poem presents writing as a form of emotional release that allows the speaker to process internal conflict. The speaker describes writing as something sharp that can cut deep, comparing words to daggers and swords. These violent images show the intensity of the speaker's emotions and suggest that writing allows him to release pain in a controlled way. Rather than allowing that pain to erupt outward, he channels it into language. This reinforces the idea that writing functions as a tool for survival and identity. Just look at that, a fully constructed master-level analytical paragraph. It flows absolutely perfectly.
As you start implementing this in your own work, I want you to keep a quick checklist of common red flags so you can self-diagnose your writing. Number 1, always avoid slipping into summary instead of analysis. 2, never drop quotes with no explanation. 3, make sure you don't have weak or missing links at the very end of your paragraph. And critically, number 4, watch out for short, explain sections. Seriously, if your explanation is shorter than the quote you used to illustrate it, you need to go back and dig deeper.
So, the crucial point of this whole explainer boils down to this golden rule. It's condensing the entire SIEL method into a basic, unforgettable progression. Claim, evidence, meaning. That is the core formula. State your claim, provide your evidence, and then aggressively unpack the meaning. If you hold on to that simple 3-step progression, your paragraphs are going to carry incredible weight and authority.
I want to leave you with the thought to instantly spark your very next writing session. Think about a draft you are working on right now, maybe one you've been putting off. If you applied this SIEL formula, state, illustrate, explain, link, to the absolute weakest paragraph in that essay right now, what entirely new meaning would you uncover? Stop summarizing, start analyzing, and just see how much stronger your arguments can become. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what you analyze next.